Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, I have some fun cards that I want to share with you that feature some images from the hand-drawn bloom stamp set. So, we're going to use this large bloom and some of the other florals that are in this set. So I created these cards based on some cards that I put together this past week. So I'm going to show you those in just a second. Good morning. Good morning. So what I want to do today is kind of play around with just one color. So we're going to be using Magenta Madness to create the cards that I have to share with you today. So it has kind of a little ombre effect in the background. I used some of the designer paper from the Artistry Blooms suite, which is where this hand-drawn bloom stamp set comes from. So this is just pattern paper in the background. And then I just used one color to create these three different cards. So the reason I decided to do this is because last week I was playing around with some embossing techniques with this particular stamp set. So this is the stamp set, the hand-drawn blooms. And these are the cards that I created last week. So I'm just going to lay those out here. They're pretty similar to what I'm going to share with you this week. So there's just lots of different things that you can do with this hand-drawn bloom set. And I just wanted to take a moment just to kind of give you some more ideas. So if you liked these card designs, so this was the embossing that I did and just adding little pops of color. So if you like these designs, then you might like these as well, because these do not involve any embossing. So if you missed the video last week and you want to check out these card ideas, these are some of my favorites. I really like how these turned out. You can click on the link that I featured with the description in this video, and you can check out those other card ideas with the embossing. So I used pretty much the same type of design, same layout for these cards. We're just not doing embossing. We're going to do some stamping. So good morning, everybody. So I'm going to start out with this card. And so, like I said, we're doing a little bit of, I guess you could call it ombre. It's the ombre effect. So I'm using this designer paper, which is two-sided, but I'm using the kind of the watercolored side that gives you that ombre effect. So it kind of goes from dark to light. So I thought that would look really nice with the Magenta Madness, because I haven't really used the Magenta Madness color. It's such a bright pink color that I thought this would be a great way. My glue's not working. This would be a great way to use that Magenta Madness color and spotlight this image. So we're going to do the ombre in the background with my pattern paper here. So this is just a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of pattern paper. And then we're going to do a little bit of spotlighting. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll bring it up a little closer. So we're going to stamp this image in the background, and then I'm going to add just little pops of die cut images just to kind of spotlight different parts of this particular image that we're going to stamp. So it's a fun way to spotlight, and the stamp set makes it really easy because they have those images right in the set. So we're using the smaller images here to kind of spotlight different parts of the larger image. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so I am going to stamp my image. So this is the image we're using. It's a pretty large image. It's actually, there's two images. So you have your top floral piece and then you have the bottom part. So we're going to actually stamp both of those. Now this image does not fit all the way on this die cut, but that's okay because it gives it a fun little look when you off center it a bit. So let's see, we'll go right about there. So there's the image. So again, this is Magenta Madness, if you missed what color this is. And then we have to stamp our bottom part here. We'll add that. And then we have our nice little bouquet. All right, so let's get this out of the way. I'm gonna bring this back. Okay. So I'm just gonna pop this up on the card. We'll just add a couple dimensionals. So I chose to use kind of this hot pink color, but there's a variety of different colors of in that patterned paper pack. So you don't have to use this hot pink. You can choose one of the other colors. You can also use different patterned paper for your background. All right, so we'll add this to our card front here. And then I stamped some of those smaller images from this set. So there's 3 different smaller images. So I stamped one of each and die cut them. So we're just going to use these on different parts of this image just to spotlight it or just kind of draw attention to it. So I just have little dimensionals on the back of each of these, and I'm trying to follow kind of the design here on the card. So you can see there's the same type of images are on this card or on this, sorry, on the stamped image. So I'm just kind of finding them and adding my pieces. And then that just kind of gives it a really nice look and draws attention to it. Now you don't have to pop those little flowers on there. You can just leave it as is. So whatever your preference is. And then we'll just add a little greeting on the bottom. So that's it. That's how easy that one is. And then I just added a couple pearls. And then I'm going to bring back the other one so that you can kind of see side by side as I go along here. So this is the embossed one that I did last week. So they have a similar, I should say a similar design, I guess, except for instead of putting it on a big piece of paper, I put my little floral here on a die cut. The last 2 cards that I have to share are almost identical. So I'm going to put that to the side. So let me grab this other one. And I'll show you what I mean. So here is last week's card with the embossing. And then here's this week's card. So you can see the designs are pretty similar. The only difference is this one's embossed and this one is just stamped with regular ink. So let me show you how to make this one. So for this one, we're going to do some stamping down the side of the paper. And if you're just joining me, you can get all the details on these cards. I have 2 links in the description below this video. One is for the cards I'm sharing today, and the other is for these embossed cards that I did last week. So they both use the same stamp set. All right, so we're going to use this Magenta Madness again. And I'm just inking up my image. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the color on the lighter side, I guess, to add some of this floral. So I'm just going to stamp this twice, and it's just going to give a really nice edge to this designer paper. So yes, you can stamp on your designer paper. All right, there we go. And then we can go ahead and add some of these other pieces. So this is just a 5 1/4 by 4. And so I did my stamping there. Now you can use it any direction. You can use it this direction. You can use it sideways like I'm using it on this card. You can use it upside down, however you want to use it. I'm just going to do my little paper tearing on the side, and we'll just expose the right side of this pattern paper here. And then I'm going to add a 1 by 5 1/4 inch piece first. So we're going to do this first. So I'm just going to add this piece over on the side here. And this is right on my card front. So don't adhere it all the way to the edge. Just kind of leave yourself a little bit of matting. And then we'll adhere this piece over the top. So this particular pattern paper that I put over here is actually not from the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper pack. It's from a different paper pack. But it works really well with this, so I decided to use it. All right, now we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to spotlight with some of these little images. So you can see that as we do that, it just really kind of makes everything pop and adds a lot of depth and dimension to the card. So we will add, let's see, we'll put that up there. This one I'm not going to be extremely particular on. We'll add this here. So the last card, I kind of followed the design in the that I stamped on my pattern paper, but this time I'm just going to kind of randomly add these. I'm not going to look for the actual flower inside there. So you just randomly add those, and then we'll just add a little greeting here. We could go up further. Well, this time we'll add our greeting up here. And that's really it. That's all you have to do. Then you can add a little bit of ribbon or twine or whatever you want to use to decorate your card. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to bring back the other ones so you can see them side by side. So the design is the same. I just did this one in embossing. And then this one, of course, we did our stamping. So remember, you can use your card designs or your card layouts over and over again to create more fun cards. And then this is the last one. This one I did a little bit of spotlighting with, of course, those little floral images. But then I also spotlighted this, the larger bouquet. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm actually going to tear my card front first. Yes, I went back to my paper tearing today. Let's add this. I'm going to do the inside first. So we'll add our paper on the inside. So this is just a 5 1/4 by 4. We'll add that. Hopefully I did this right. And oops, I had to find my paper, sorry. And then I didn't have my paper. Then we're going to add this piece on the inside. So again, this is just a 1 by 5 1/4, so you can see this from the outside. All right, and then I'm going to add a 2 by 5 1/2 inch piece of my little ombre paper here. This is going to get added to the outside of the card. So I'm just kind of putting my card together, and then we'll go ahead and decorate it and talk about our spotlighting. So that's the basic, premise for the card. So for this one, I added this white piece with this 1 by 5 1/4 inch piece of pattern paper. And then on this side, I did it a little bit differently. I added a longer piece of pattern paper and then added a die cut to the inside. So you can decorate the inside however you want. So the first thing we're going to do is typically I would stamp this for you. But since I had to die cut it, I stamped this piece already. So basically what I did is I stamped that large floral image, this one, on a scrap piece of white cardstock. And then I just took one of my die cuts and I cut it out, just kind of spotlighted a certain section of that bouquet and cut it out to create this little focal piece here. So it's a nice way to spotlight your image. And obviously the image is much larger than the die cut that I'm using. So that's why you only spotlight just a small section of it. And you can use a circle shape, you can use squares, you can use whatever shape that you want. And so now we'll just add some of those little florals. And we'll spotlight different parts of our circle here. And then we'll go ahead and add our little greeting. And then that's it. And then you can just go ahead and wrap some, I just wrap some twine around here to create, my little bow, and then just embellished with some pearls. Now this one is very similar to the one that I shared last week. So it has the same kind of design. Again, this one is embossed, and then this one is just done in regular stamping. So if you don't want to do embossing, or you don't like the look of embossing, you can just use your regular ink and use these card designs over and over again to create all sorts of fun cards. So let me bring these back so I can show you what they all look like kind of side by side. So these are the embossed ones. And again, the link to these card ideas is in the description with this video. And then this, where did the other one go? Here it is. And then these are the ones I shared today. So you can see they're pretty much the exact same card designs, except for these two are just a little bit different. But one is done in embossing and one is done in just the regular stamping, and they all look completely different. So again, use some of your card designs over and over again to just create some fun new cards. And you can even use different stamp sets if you want with these card ideas to create some fun cards. So there you go. So be sure to go to the links that I provided in the description with this video. You'll get more information on these cards and the ones that I just did today. So you have a bunch of fun ideas for using the hand-drawn blooms stamp set and some of the other fun products from the Artistry Blooms suite. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I will talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody.